Good morning, it's Mr. Bletcher here, and goodness me, do we have a very special video for you today. Hello, yes, it's going to be a very exciting video today because we are in Sheffield at the factory for the Yorkshire Candle Company, and we are going to learn how candles are made. Let's get to it. Step one, the first thing we need is something for the candle wax to go in. We have a box of 100 tins ready to make some candles in. But it could take us a while to get 100 tins and pull them out. But Rob has a solution. Go and take it away. Flips it over. There we have it! Look at that! 100 perfectly ready tins. It's about working smart, not always working hard, kids. The next step involves these. And this isn't one of those spike traps that you throw out in the road if you want to catch a robber or someone escaping the police. These are actually cotton wicks, and these need to go in those. So Rob will go through the process of making sure each one is absolutely in the middle. So you're using a bit of your maths, you're thinking about radius, diameter to make sure it's right in the middle, because if it's not, it has to come out and be done again. We actually have two different types of cotton wick for each size of tin. And that's because to make sure that the candle, when it burns evenly. You need it to burn evenly so you get all of the wax burned. Otherwise you end up with a bit of puddle in the middle, and you don't want one of those. So we actually have different bit of maths to calculate for each tin, different diameters, different radiuses, to make sure that the customer's candles burn properly. Mr. Bletcher, what are you doing with bike reflectors in a candle factory? No, they are not bike reflectors. These are actually very important bits of engineering, and they are made with a 3D printer. Now the purpose of these is to make sure that this wick stays in place. It's important that the wick stays in place so that the candle looks exactly how it needs to when the process is finished. The process is quite simple. This has been designed specifically for these tins. So your maths, your science, your computing all comes into this process. This just clicks on the side of the tin, like so, and then you move the wick in the middle, and if you look at that, perfection, okay? It's standing up exactly how it needs to, and that's gonna make sure we have a lovely even finish when the candles are ready at the end. Right, so the next step involves this piece of magic. This is a wax melter, okay? So the wax goes in as a solid, it then ends up as a liquid. So you've got a bit of changing state, a bit of science for you there. So we'll have a look at how that works now. Just look at that. That's it, that's pretty hilarious. No, I am not going to ancient Rome to get in some sort of battle. This isn't a history lesson. This is actually used to stir what we've got in here. So, just a little stirring process. It's a bit like rowing a boat. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. That is quite fun. That is very fun. Right, so we have our wax ready. It is now, as we said earlier, has gone from a solid to a liquid. But now, how do we get the fragrances into the candle? Well, the fragrance has to go into the wax as it is now. Now, this is a very important part when it comes to the maths side of things. You have to get your ratios correct. You don't want too much fragrance, otherwise the candle won't burn evenly. If you don't put enough in, you won't be able to smell the fragrance, and that's what you want when you burn the candle. It's a bit like making orange squash at home. Too much doesn't taste good, but too little tastes a little bit too much like water. You don't even feel the flavour or taste the flavour. So, now that ratios have been worked out, it can go in, get stirred, and be ready for the pouring. Measuring, very important part. You do have to do the right measurements and a bit of maths to make sure you're putting exactly the right amount of the wax into the tins. Now, inside each tin, there is a marker, and you need to make sure, that's why Rob's being very careful, you need to be very sure to get the mixture about 1 millimetre below that marker. So it's a process that takes a short while, but you have to be very careful with it. Time, 12 hours of setting later, and we have the product almost finished, not quite, and it smells amazing. Now, back to measurement, you can't have a candle with a wick like that now, can you? But if you look, they're all perfectly positioned because of the 3D printing that happened earlier. So it's a case of now measuring and snipping those wicks to make sure they are exactly the same size, to make sure that these burn properly, and we have happy customers. Now, look at that. Now for a bit of manufacturing. This is a label machine, and this makes sure that all of the candles are labelled up correctly. And I get to have a go. So, the tin's already in. I'm told you hold it down. And there we have it. A perfectly labelled candle. Check that out. The Yorkshire Dales, perfectly printed by me. And now, my perfectly printed and fragrant candle can go on the stand. Looks great, doesn't it? And if you want to find out more about the Yorkshire Candle Company, head to the link here. They've got lots of fantastic products that I'm sure you'd absolutely love. And there's many offers too that are on the screen right now. I just want to say a big thank you to the Yorkshire Candle Company for teaching me all about their process today. I had a lot of fun. And Rob, who's helped me out a lot, thank you to you. Remember to please like this video, share and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. As Rob from the Yorkshire Candle Company will show you right now. Over, up, and there you have it. We have one casualty, so I think we'll film that again because it's one that's on the front as well. Time, 12 out. Try again. And now, my perfectly fragranced and printed was the line I was going for, right? Boom. Mate. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.